I have never seen the full Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mr. Speaker.
I've never seen the first one. It was good. Never had much of a desire to see the other ones though. I'm trying to say I don't know shit about Elijah Wood's Deep Strange Journey.
Yeah, I don't know shit about Lord of the Rings. I only picked up Shadow of Mordor because it was $4 on the Steam Summer Sale, and I had always heard about how great the Nemesis system was. All I knew going into this game was the information that was explained in Fellowship of the Ring, and even then I had forgotten most of it. I just wanted to dick around with the Nemesis system and see if it really is as good and innovative as so many people say.
So what does a non-fan of this series who honestly knows very little about this world and its lore think? You don't really care about my opinion? I don't have that many subscribers, I just kind of do this as a hobby. Please care about what I think, I'm very lonely.
Well, I honestly think this game is really damn good, and the Nemesis system actually does live up to all the praise it's gotten over the years. However, like last time, I want to go over the negatives I had before I go over the positives. I'm an overly critical guy, so this is just how I tend to do things.
So, without any further delay, let's
Review.
begin. I'm using my camera this time. Got it out. I'm not lazy anymore. Did you notice? I'm using it. I'm not lazy anymore. I fucking got it out. Just in case you didn't realize I was using it, I'm using it. Man, the white balance is fucked on this shot. My teeth look yellow. This is a disaster of a shot.
Okay, so my biggest gripe with it comes from the fact that it keeps jumping back and forth between letting you discover the game and its mechanics for yourself, or holding your hand at random intervals throughout the game. Tutorial blurbs keep popping up even over 15 hours into it, regardless of whether you've seen them before or have performed the action over hundreds of times by that point. There is also an entire mission in the latter half of the game that's basically dedicated to teaching you how to mount and control Caragors, something that I'd already been doing for hours up to that point. The gameplay can also get pretty repetitive, and it honestly wore on me at times. I couldn't play the game for too long each session because after some point I started to get bored. Outside of the story missions, there are various types of side quests, both those related to the Nemesis system and those unrelated to it. Both types of missions can be fun, but they start to get repetitive the more you play. Speaking of being boring, another issue I had with the game was with the main character himself, Talion. He can be pretty bland and uninteresting at times. His design isn't the most imaginative, and while I'm not someone who will demand game developers put disabled black transgender war vets in their games, Talion just really doesn't stand out among the legions of other brown-haired middle-aged white guys seeking revenge that star in so many video games. Now, the real main character of this game is the wraith that possesses Talion shortly after the game begins, Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor and his story I found to be incredibly interesting, and every time he was on screen, he stole the scene, even when other characters like Gollum or Best Boy Ratbag showed up. The fact that Celebrimbor is such a great and interesting character honestly just makes Talion look worse in comparison. Celebrimbor is actually a great way to cross over into my positives of the game. While fans of the series most likely know all about Celebrimbor, I didn't know jack about him when I started playing. Honestly, it was thanks to the expertly done compendium that tackles every important character, artifact, and area in the game that I was able to learn as much as I did. It's impressive how detailed yet easy to understand everything is.
Even more impressive is the fact that you don't even need to be all that well versed in Lord of the Rings in order to enjoy this game. Talion may seek revenge against the Black Hand, but thanks to the Nemesis system, you can make your own story of revenge against whomever it is you want.
For me, my nemesis was without a doubt Dugza the Battle-Hardened. My first encounter with him was an accident, actually. I was running across Udun to the next story mission when I accidentally ran into him. I quickly killed him and then continued off towards my destination. Then when I finished with the story quest, I looked down and noticed Dugza running around trying to climb up to get me. I once again killed him, but little did I know this was going to be a pattern throughout the entire first half of the game. At first I found him more of an annoyance, but once he became strong enough to kill me, I really started to hate him. Before I knew it, he had maxed out at level 20 and I started to love to hate him. He would show up at complete random, whether during side missions, nemesis missions, or just randomly as I ran around the map. Finally, as I was about to reach the halfway point of the game and reach the second area, Norn, I bested him. I killed Dugza and had my revenge on my nemesis. No other Uruk captain or war chief could replace him. I literally started to miss him as I was taking on new nemeses. Our final conflict actually ended up being the highlight of the entire game for me. The nemesis system truly has surpassed my expectations laid out by all the praise it's received from others. And it pains me that I am now unable to bring Dugza into Shadow of War using the Nemesis Forge. His body is actually gone from the Sauron's army page in the main story, and from the research I've done, this means he's just not going to come back. He's gone, he's been replaced. And I'm actually kind of saddened by that. It was only after I had finally defeated Dugza and Udun that I realized how amazing yet flawed the Nemesis system is. With it, I was able to craft my own story of revenge against my nemesis, ending in an epic conflict between both of us. Dugza actually felt like a character as well, remembering all of our past encounters and even gained scars and burn marks from each one. It shows just how in-depth this system is. However, the cracks with the Nemesis system started to show by the time I had reached Norn. I'd started to recognize faces, names, voices, body types, scars, and more as I worked my way through the ranks of Norn. A big reason why no Uruk could replace Dugza is because I started to see the RNG. It was from this point on the game had to really prove it didn't need the Nemesis system to keep my attention. Luckily, the game was able to do this with ease.
I remember back in early 2014, one of the developers of Assassin's Creed 2 was making claims that Shadow of Mordor had stolen code from AC2. While I don't know if this was the case, you don't need to make claims that code was stolen to see the similarities between Shadow of Mordor and Assassin's Creed.
The best way to summarize how Mordor plays is by saying it's Assassin's Creed with better combat and more stealth options. You can poison grog, leading to infighting among the Uruks who drink from it. You can unleash various types of animals such as Caragors or Morgai flies to chase away or kill enemies. Going back to the Nemesis system for a second, you could look at the various stats of each Uruk captain to see their strengths and weaknesses. If an Uruk is scared of burning, you can blow up a campfire near them to scare him off. If an Uruk is immune to stealth kills, you'll need to take him out another way. This is the most freedom I've had in a stealth game since the Phantom Pain. While there's not as many options as Phantom Pain, there's still plenty to help you take advantage of the situation. What you do outside of missions can also affect what happens in them. For example, by taking out a warlord's bodyguards outside of an assassination mission, you can make it easier to take the warlord down as there's less Uruks to deal with. The way the Nemesis system is set up makes the game incredibly dynamic and organic, leading to no two players having the exact same experience. If Mordor has the most options in a stealth game since I've played the Phantom Pain, Mordor also has the most fun, arcadey gameplay since I've played Wolfenstein: The New Order. While I don't think Shadow of Mordor is a perfect game, I think it's a pretty good game with a fantastic system that I can't wait to see improved upon in the sequel. If I had to give it a rating, I'd definitely give it an 8 out of 10. While it has issues and could be deeper, what it does do is a pretty big accomplishment. I probably won't be getting Shadow of War at launch due to so many damn games coming out this year, as well as kinda being burnt out from Mordor. I definitely can't wait to see how the Nemesis system is improved upon in it, and hopefully whatever else comes after that.
Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go back to not watching the other Lord of the Rings movies.